Hello today! And today we're going to have a game of Prix Simulator on the Atari 8-bit computer. Now, I used to own this back in the day on my Amstrad CPC 464 and it was a brilliant game. For me, might not be for everyone, but for me, I had a lot of nostalgia for it. It was a Codemasters title and it cost $2.99. Yes, people might say it's a Super Sprint rip-off, probably it is, but I really enjoyed it. It was a great game. Could never complete it, and also played it back in the day on my friend's Commodore 64, because I had it on my CPC 464, he got it on his Commodore 64. It was alright, but it wasn't as good as the CPC version. It had tracks missing on the Commodore 64 version. Now, I don't know if this is similar to the Commodore 64 version. Right, let's shut up and let's give it a play. So it's a game for 1 or 2 players. So if you're playing on your own, you're playing against the computer only. If you're playing 2 players, you're playing 2 players plus the computer. Oh, now I have to use joystick on this. There's no options of choosing the control keys like there was on the CPC version. You can redefine your keys, redefine I should say. Commodore 64 had a selection of keys you could use, but you couldn't redefine them. And I didn't like this. I also reviewed this on the Spectrum. I didn't particularly like it. Now you might think, oh, the graphics are very blocky. Yes, that's how they were on the CPC and Commodore 64 versions. Spectrum versions looked more like trying to be like racing cars. I mean, this looks like a dot on an oblong. So you only have to do 3 laps. So if you got to win, you can't come second. And that also goes if you're playing 2 players, you've got to come either first or second. You've got to beat the computer car. And I don't know. Now this could be a little bit tricky. Like now, you can get trapped underneath the tunnel because you can't see. And you probably guessed it. I'm the brown car. Yeah, I could have made different choices of colours with the cars here, but to be honest with you, it's playing fine. Now, I honestly thought I couldn't get on with the joystick. I never used the joystick back in the day. I always preferred it with keyboard. Now, you can pick up items, but they don't give you any upgrades. It ain't Super Sprint, so it doesn't give you any upgrades whatsoever. It's just a point. It just gives you points. That's all. Right. Okay, so won that. Does this push any key? Now, I think this is the same as the Commodore 64 version. It's got tracks missing. I think it was originally programmed on the CPC by the Oliver twins, and all the others just got converted. Just basically conversions. Now, I don't know if this is a port from the Commodore 64 version. I don't know. But I think it's on league with the Commodore 64 version. Actually, I think this one seems more faster, if anything. I would say it's a lot more smoother. Right, okay. So we're doing well at the moment. I haven't played this in years. Like all the others, they all had speech. Oh, you bastard! Shit! Now you can't knock the car out. The computer car's always pre-programmed. It's always doing the same route. It'll never change. But now I've got to try and beat the computer car to stay in the race, to stay in the game. Oh, and it does give you bits of chances because the computer does make mistakes. Well, you fucking blocked me, you bastard! Oh no! Oh, come on! Shit! No, I've lost it. I've lost it. Now I'm out because I lost. Right, my name. Yes, and you get to type it. Yeah, so that's Grand Prix Simulator on the Atari 8-bit. I think it's a good version. I'll probably put it on par with the Commodore 64 version, even though I think this runs a lot smoother than the Commodore 64 version. But it's not as good as the CPC version. That's the version I'm more nostalgic with. And then I think, like the Commodore 64 version, this has got a couple of tracks missing, unless they're in different orders. I don't know, but I think this went on the same route as the Commodore 64 version. But it's still playable. I still like it. Anyway, going to end this now. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time, and goodbye.